Hey y'all, checking in again after being gone for a bit. As you can see, I'm currently back in my childhood home in Texas. Now, originally, this video was going to be cut up into 2 parts. The first part was going to be just talking about my overall year and everything that happened to me. And the other was going to be discussing how grad school went and how I kind of adjusted to that. But the thing is that grad school kind of consumed my life so much that it would be difficult for me to talk about one without talking about the other.
So how was my 2018? Well, it's really tough to say how I feel about 2018. A lot of scary and upsetting things happened with climate change and Nazis both on the rise and people not believing experts when they talk about issues that they are experts of. It was very tumultuous, to say the least. But it was also very fulfilling for me personally, with me achieving many of my long-term goals, so I think that I'd like to reflect on how my 2018 went. I started 2018 very anxious about my future. I had been working on my bachelor since 2014, and as my senior year was coming to a close, all of my grad school applications were in, and I would have to wait months to get any kind of results. I started this channel partially because I wanted to document my transformation from my last semester of undergrad into grad school, and also partially because I had a lot of anxious thoughts that I needed to get outside of myself. The project almost crashed and burned before it started, though, as I realized that trying to run editing software on my cruddy old laptop wasn't gonna cut it. And so I'd have to stay on campus extra late to use my university's copy of Premiere Pro. My last semester, I took French cinema, French composition, cultural anthropology, and British literature. I was also working 25 to 30 hours a week in an industrial kitchen. And while I'm grateful to that job for allowing me to pay rent and buy groceries, it was also physically demanding and left me often exhausted. In May, I graduated from Texas State University with a double major in anthropology and French. And in June, I quit my job and my lease ended, so I moved back in with my family in my hometown. I spent most of the summer just enjoying being at home and also dealing with all of the paperwork that entails being a student in another country. I might do a whole video about this someday because I think it's one of those things about being an international student that people don't talk about. Anyways, my summer was a bit hectic at times, but also nostalgic. But it didn't last forever because at the end of August, my family packed me up in our brand new RV and we headed off to Montreal. September, I started my master's degree at Concordia University. I thought that being in a new city or being in a new country would be the hardest part of starting grad school, but what left me feeling overwhelmed was the quality of work that I was expecting to produce. I constantly wondered if I even deserved to be there. I told myself that I needed to push through it though, and slowly I adjusted to the new pace. I explored the city, I went to a Rocky Horror Picture Show live event, and ate way too much poutine. In November, my online friends, who I'd never met in person, were able to come to the city for my birthday. We had so much fun.
You could just mute us afterwards, delete the audio.
I can't!
Aww, well, that's a shame.
This is part of the experience.
We got to eat a lot of good food and stroll through the city and even hunt down a dead guy in a Montreal cemetery. It was really great to spend time with them, and I hope I get another chance to do that soon. Unfortunately, after that, I kind of went into a spiral. I wasn't a complete mess, but I got sick, and I started not sleeping, and then sleeping for 15 hours, and being too exhausted to focus on my readings or my homework. This went on for almost 3 weeks, and by the end of it, I found it really affecting my mental health. I made it to the end of the semester, but I didn't feel like I was submitting the quality of work that I was capable of. Similarly, my YouTube channel had some bumps along the way. My goal this year was to try and post a video every week or every other week. As of this video, I have 15 videos on my channel. Of these videos, only 7 will have fit the timeline I've given myself. And honestly, that's better than I was anticipating in some ways. My previous YouTube attempts only lasted maybe a month or two, and here I am coming up on a year, and I'm not tired of it. This doesn't mean I don't have some ideas on improving though, so I want to go over some quick resolutions I have for the new year.
Now, I know a lot of people will laugh and say that New Year's resolutions never work or that they're stupid, but I don't think that's entirely true. I think that you can work towards a goal, but it's about being better, not about being amazing. You have to be honest with yourself and what you're capable of achieving in a certain amount of time, or you're just going to get discouraged. So more than expecting to lose 50 pounds or get married by next year, I'm trying to create a few goals for myself that I think that I can actually reach. I'd like to get better overall at time management. I think that I was really good at this at undergrad because I had everything built into my schedule. You know, I worked so many hours and I had so many hours of classes that everything had to fit into a nice little time slot. And I think that kept me on top of things and actually doing what I was supposed to do. But when I looked at my schedule for grad school and thought, I only have 3 classes a semester and 10 hours of work, I've got plenty of time to do everything I want. Okay, let's see. I have to read 150 pages and write summaries on them, and I need to grade exams. I can wait till tomorrow. That attitude didn't do me any favors in grad school, and it meant that I wasn't presenting my best work to the teachers either. And that's not the person that I am. I mean, I still got A's in all of my classes, but it didn't feel like I deserved those A's. I'd also like to start working out again, which is another thing that I did all throughout undergrad that I mysteriously got worse about once I shifted to grad school. And I don't know why, especially because it was really positive for my mental health. It helped me through a lot of hard parts of my life. But this upcoming semester, I want that to change. And luckily, Santa brought me these to help me out. That's right, I am now the owner of my own personal ice skating shoes. And for my last resolution/goal, I want to talk about the future of this channel. Overall, doing YouTube is something that I've really enjoyed, and I'm kind of shocked that I've kept up with it this long. I've learned a lot from it about sound and filmmaking and lighting. Some of these videos have been really fun to do, but most of the time the ones that I've enjoyed doing aren't the ones where I'm sitting in front of a camera for 10 minutes. These are the easiest videos to make, especially when in school, but overall they're not the type of videos I want to be making. And honestly, I don't think they're the most exciting things to be watching either. So in 2019, I'd like to get more adventurous with the kind of material that I'm putting out. I'd like to experiment more with the ideas that I have. I feel like I have a lot of ideas still that I haven't explored, or I haven't explored properly because I've been dangerous to go out of this little formula that I have. In 2019, I'd like to not do that. I want to experiment more with the type of editing and shots that I use and integrate my artwork more into my videos. At the end of the semester, I had this idea for a bunch of educational anthropology themed videos, and that is my #1 goal for this channel going forward. Part of my want to explore more in the future is also physically explore. I mean, I go all over the city in Montreal, and Montreal is a beautiful city, but I haven't done anything really outside of my bedroom. One of the funnest videos to record for was when I did a Thoughts from Places in Texas State, and that was just me running around recording things that I thought looked pretty. Something else that I want to be better about in this upcoming year involving my YouTube channel is trying to stick to a stricter upload schedule. Unfortunately, part of the reason that my upload schedule got more hectic as the end of the year got closer was because the sun starts going down in Montreal at like 3 or 4 o'clock. Now, I was trying to record things that were at the top of my head or that I was thinking of at that moment, so most of the time I would think of an idea for maybe a day or two ahead of time and then sit down, write a script, record, and edit all in the span of like a few hours. But when your sleeping schedule's screwed up and you're not waking up until 1 or 2 o'clock, that's not really possible when there's no sunlight for you to record with. I also want to remind myself something that's been repeated to me over and over since I started grad school. That finished is better than perfect. That it's much better that I'm posting things than not posting things because it's not exactly what I envisioned. I want to make good videos and videos that I'm proud of and that are enjoyable. But if I never make a video, then that's not gonna happen. And unfortunately, it just got worse with time, because then I would tell myself, you've been gone for 2 months. You have to give everyone something that was worth being gone for 2 months. You have to distribute your masterpiece. The number one thing that I want to keep in my resolutions for this channel going forward is not abandoning this channel. I feel like I've grown a lot as a person, and I want to keep getting better and keep improving. And I think that the steps that I've made in 2018 will make that possible. I wasn't always perfect, and I always didn't progress in the way I wanted to, but I've learned a lot from what I've done wrong, and I want to be a better person in 2019. Here's to 2019.